How are you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. I just, like I said, I had to pop to the shops to get my daughter some new shoes because she came home and the sole was like completely detached. I was like, what have you been doing? She goes, I was playing basketball.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's what happens with kids. You go through a lot of stuff within the shoes, clothes, all sorts.
Yeah, and it always needs fixing like straight away. You're not allowed to wait until the weekend. It needs fixing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So yeah, thanks for coming on to speak to us on this podcast. It was actually Sharon. Do you know Sharon?
Yeah, I know Sharon Griffin.
Yeah. Because of course, I mean, I had already you on the radar to sort of speak, to catch up on the podcast. But then Sharon said, "Oh, look, I've got this Shona. She will be absolutely perfect for the podcast." And I said to her, "Of course, I know. I know her already. She's doing amazing things in property and networking and teaching. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You seem to have your hands full in all sorts of things, teaching and property and all that. So be good to capture all of that on the podcast to inspire lots of people, which is your mission. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want me to talk a bit about those things?
Yeah. So I think initially, let's. I tend to sort of do this as a chronological order of your sort of journey, from humble beginnings and then school and family, and then how you got into, your teaching, entrepreneurship, property, and then going on to the vision. So I think that works quite well to sort of, bring that out for people so they can get to see also if they can relate to your journey, can inspire them to say, wow, Shona comes from this background similar to mine and she's managed to achieve these amazing things, so there's probably hope for me as well. So actually that helps people. So yeah, if you take us through that background of yours from humble beginnings to up to now, and then we can pick in between, like the challenges, the successes, and then we just chat about things. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, from the very beginning, from when I was a child, where I grew up. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, my name's Shona, and I grew up in East London in Newham. With my mum, my dad. I have 2 brothers and a sister. So it was always quite a busy household. Went to school, everything was fine in school. Actually, school was quite hard because I'm dyslexic, but I was never diagnosed in school. So like recently, my friend found some old books of ours. I don't know why she had my spelling book from primary school, but every week we used to get a spelling test of 10 spellings. And if you saw my thing, I only maybe got 1 right every week. And that used to really upset me and make me feel really rubbish. But after a while, I just got used to it, that I always knew I was going to fail at that. So I just got around it, just kept going. It didn't really affect me in school too much because I always like to please the teacher. My daughter makes fun of me. She says I'm like the teacher's pet. I always wanted to get the answers right. So I always worked hard. I finished school. I wanted to be an actress when I was younger. So I went to college to do performing arts. What was funny actually is my head teacher, he was a new head teacher, but he came to speak to me and he said, what are you going to do at college? And I said, performing arts. And he said, why are you going to waste your life? And he was like, you've got good results. And I didn't understand because he just turned his school into a performing arts school, but yet he was telling me I was wasting my life doing performing arts. So I was really confused.
Okay.
Then I went on to college. I did performing arts. I did my first dance class and my teacher told me I was really good. I'd never danced before and they asked me to do A-level dance. I was like, what? That's weird. So I got into that, and while I was at college, I learned how to edit films, which is why I'm able to do my YouTube channel, because I learned how to edit then. And then I went to uni. Before I went to uni, I was supposed to go to uni in Leeds, but I was really scared to move away from home. Like, I feel like that's quite a difficult step. So I didn't go to Leeds. I ended up working for my college when I left, but they linked up with the university. So I became a learning mentor for a young person who had MS. So I supported her through her course. And then after a year, I thought, you know what, I need to do my course. So I did the same course that I just helped her with for 1 year, but I was bored. It was like I was doing it for the second time.
Yeah.
So then I moved to Doncaster. So I moved up to South Yorkshire. That was quite hard because I'm from East London, which is very multicultural, but Doncaster at the time was not multicultural at all. And I just found that really, really weird. I'd never been in such a place where everyone was the same. It was weird. I didn't like it. And also,
strange environment for you.
Yeah, it was. And some people would make some racist comments around me, and I had to challenge them, which was quite difficult. And they didn't understand why I was challenging them, because they're like, it's not about you. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's okay. So that was quite difficult. I nearly quit uni because of that, because mentally it was hard. Also, because I did BTEC in school, doing a degree was very, very challenging. The first few months learning how to write an essay was really, really hard. And I nearly failed, but I had a really good teacher who worked with me one-to-one quite a lot, and she helped me improve my work. And once you've learned how to do it, it's okay. But I nearly quit at the beginning, basically. So yeah, I went to Doncaster, then I moved. Where did I move to? I had a girlfriend at the time who lived in Hackney, so I moved to Hackney, which is still East London. Yeah. I've lived in lots of different places in East London.
So East London is like your home, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, yeah. Even though now I live in Thurrock, which is just outside East London, I feel like most people that live in East London gradually move further and further east. Out. It's the same, yeah. So I used to work for a charity, and I used to work in after school clubs. So when I used to pick kids up from school, take them to the club, and we'd play board games, we'd make them a snack, we'd do art projects and stuff like that. But that wasn't bringing me in enough money. That was like 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
And so the charity also ran events. So part of my job on the weekend, I did this while I was at uni as well. I'd come home on the weekends. We used to put up bouncy castles and marquees and stages. Wow. Yeah, so they'd run fun days. So I enjoyed that. It sounds weird. I really love manual labor, like building things and doing things. So we'd have to load the van at like 5 a.m. and then we'd pack up at like midnight, load in the van again. I loved it, but it was hard work. And I said to the charity, I said, look, I can't keep only working 3 hours a week on the weekdays. Yeah. It's not enough money. So they asked me to cover for a member of staff in the education project, because she was going off for 3 weeks because she was sick. So I covered for 1 day, and then they said to me, oh, we want to make you permanent. We want to keep you. And I was like, oh, that's good.
Good. Mm-hmm.
So I worked there. And after about 3 months, because I was working in the special needs education project, but then there was a main education project as well. And they said to me, basically they made us all redundant, because they were making this project join the other project, and everyone had to reapply for their jobs. And not everybody could reapply because they didn't have enough qualifications. Yeah. So suddenly I became in charge of this group, but that wasn't on purpose. That's just how it worked out.
How it happened, yeah.
Yeah. And I said to the head teacher, I said, I don't mind being in charge of this group, but if I'm going to be a teacher, I want to do a good job. So I want to get qualified. So they agreed. And so they paid for me to go do my PGCE.
Okay, good.
Then I did all my teaching qualifications there, and I gradually worked with more and more groups. So I used to teach the kids how to make films. That's what we used to do. And then I went from there. Then I was teaching them dance. I've taught lots of different subjects. And eventually I became the curriculum manager, which means I'm in charge of all the other teachers. And I decide what we deliver across the entire school. And now I'm doing my head teacher qualification because my big goal is that I want to start my own alternative provision, where it's a bit more about entrepreneurship. I sometimes refer to it as the property school because people remember that, but it's not just about property. It will be about vocational learning in general and about teaching kids about finance and budgeting so that they can actually succeed with money in the future and possibly start their own businesses in whatever they're passionate. I really believe that if you're passionate about something, then you will do well. I don't think parents should push their kids to study whatever they like. It's like, let people follow their own ambitions and they will succeed, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's always the distinction, because what happens is obviously, when you look at money and wealth, it's something that most people, aspire to, because it gives you a lot of choices in life. But the distinction comes at the point when you're pursuing something that you like, but obviously that particular thing you're pursuing, you enjoy it and it's your passion, but it can't actually make you or build your worth. So people will tend to gravitate towards that can't make me wealthy, or it can't make me money, then I have to go and do something else that makes me money. But I always say to people, that's not necessarily the right way, because you can use specialist people and specialist advice to actually build wealth while you pursue the thing that you like. So for example, if I'm looking, let's say I love maybe charity work, like you are doing, maybe helping people, but obviously you don't make a lot of money there. I can use some of my time or some of the experience that I may have built, or even some money that I may have come across, and invest that with people who, let's say, they provide hands-free property investing. I just put my money in there. So I'll be building wealth and using specialist skills and knowledge of other people. So that's where you leverage. So you can get both sides. You pursue something that you like, but on the other side, you're also building wealth because you're leveraging other people. And that's what I always tell people. And that's what I do. Like in our what we have as businesses, we offer hands-free property investing for people. So we've got a sourcing business, the refurb business, and the lettings agency. So it's all there. So you have these people like in the city, whether doctors and bankers and things, they are absolutely passionate about their jobs and they love it. But they also want to build wealth and things, but they don't want to leave that. So they just give us the money. We build portfolios and wealth and things for them while they still pursue their things of their dreams and work and things. So it's always the case that people, if they are not aware of that concept that they can have both worlds, they will tend to move and see, maybe Shona is doing property and making money, I should go and do the same, and then leave the things that they are passionate about. And then they find that property is hard and they can't pursue it, or they are not so much there, but they want to enjoy the money and thing that comes with it. So that's what I would say. So you're absolutely right. People need to pursue the things that they like. So don't work or do something for the money, because you can find specialist things that will make you the money, but pursue something you like just for the passion and the thing that you like about it. So it's that distinction. So it's absolutely right, what you teach people, but you will find they say, maybe I like dancing or I like this, but I'm not going to become rich, doing that, because it's not going to make the money. But it doesn't matter. Just look at other creative ways you can use with other people. So that's what I would say. So yeah, interesting, amazing journey. So at what point did you get to discover or get diagnosed with the dyslexia then?
I was about 21, and I always knew that I couldn't spell. But dyslexia, when I was younger, it wasn't. People didn't really talk about it as much as they do now. So when I was at uni, that's when I said it to my teacher that I thought that I was, and I guess because my teacher was I remember I said she was helping me with my work, so I think they could see it once I pointed it out. And then I got told that if I was diagnosed, I would get a free laptop. And I was like, oh, okay. So I said, all right, send me for the test then.
That's quite an incentive, yeah.
So I went for the test, and it was about a 3-hour discussion of mini tests. And when I left, he told me I was dyslexic, and he also told me I had ADD, attention deficit disorder. And that I hadn't really thought about that before. So when I went back to my room, I lived in halls when I was at uni. I went and Googled ADD about what it was, and it was really weird. It was like I was reading my life on the screen.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like all the things about how I can't hold my attention for very long. I always interrupt people when they're talking, not on purpose or to be rude, but because I'm just trying to engage in the conversation. I can stay focused when it's something I'm really into. I can get really zoned in, but it's quite difficult to do that. There were other things, but I actually felt a bit sad for about a week because I felt I'm quite a bubbly personality, which I always was quite unique. But when I was reading it on the screen, I was like, oh, it's not my personality. It's because I've got ADD. And that was weird. I didn't like it.
But I mean, the thing is, every personality, whatever it is unique. I mean, if you look at on the planet, there's over 7 billion people, none the same. And the thing is, I had this discussion with Dr. John DeMartini. I don't know, you probably know him, a human behavior specialist and studying about human behavior and why we are or do certain things. If you take everything out there, who is to say what is right and what is wrong, what is normal and what's not? Because everything can be different. But there is just amazing energy in each individual personality, because that's what comes out. Because we're all here to, essentially do different things and just be our authentic self in a way. And it's just amazing, even with that, for you, like the ADD and the dyslexia. Look at the amazing things you're doing, how you're impacting people, whether that's a result of that. But for me, I just see it as that's your space. That's how unique you are. That's your personality, and that's what comes out. And you can impact people in any particular area and section with what you have. And everyone can do that, whether they are a super genius or they are, someone weird, or like they are an Elon Musk or Bezos or whoever. Everyone has got a different story to tell. And you just have to take each one as unique in its own right. Not that everyone has to be this way or some people have to be that way. You will probably find a certain percentage out in a particular zone. But for me, there's absolute uniqueness and magic almost in every individual story. And like I say, observing the things that you do, like on the Zooms and the networking events that you do, how your personality comes and how you impact people, and everyone is just drawn to you. That's like a natural sort of, whether it's talent, but it just comes through, not something that you have learned or studied in school, but it's just you as a person. No one can copy and become Shona. You are just you.
Yes, that's so. You're gonna make me cry. That sounds so lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no school or anything anyone can go to become you, and that's what's amazing about life. And everyone should just pursue who they are as well and make their own amazing world, because people will gravitate towards the people that we relate to. And so it goes deeper into like Bob Proctor talk about vibration, and we are all at a particular frequency, and you can relate to people who you see maybe are on a similar frequency to you. Not that you are the same, but the mindset and the thinking and the journey sometimes can be on the same level with people that you relate to. That can happen, but within that, people can still be their unique individual self as well. So that's what that's what's amazing about people. And you find that as well. Of all the people that you speak to, you're networking, you've got quite a big group. When you look at different people there, you see they've got different sets of skills. Some are probably, organizers. They are really good at organizing people. Some can speak, others can do all sorts. And that's what makes the world amazing, because by the time we each do different things, we manage to achieve everything that needs to be done, because, someone will do this, the other will do something else, and someone else will do something. And that's what's amazing. Not that we should follow people to say, oh, I have to be someone, because that's I like to do that. So it's just absolutely amazing.
I think I'm still realizing that, like, more recently. So when I started getting into property, I wanted to do property, like I really wanted to. So then I started learning about it, and I became like a client sourcer, because I was what everyone says, when you get into property, become a sourcer, make some money, and then you can get your own property, right? Or they say start with rent to rent, one of the two. So I became a sourcer, but I had no idea how hard it was. Like, it's so hard to actually find a deal. So I still have a sourcing company. I've never sold a deal because they are so hard to find. But what I found drawn to was the networking and connecting with people. And I started my Facebook group last year in the summer. And I gradually built that up with people that were, like you say, I guess they were drawn to me. I didn't really understand what I was doing at the time. The reason I set up my Facebook group is because I'd already paid for 2 property courses, and obviously they're not cheap. And I thought to myself, I can't afford to keep paying for more courses, but there's more to learn. But I thought, surely if I connect with other people that have maybe done one course, and we all share what we've learned, then we can all grow together. That was my idea. So that's why I built my group, Heading for Property Success. It's called that because I'm doing my head teacher qualification. So I was like, I'm heading for property success. And slowly I built that up. I don't have loads of people. I think I've got about 300 people in my group. And then it's all right. It's not bad. And then on Sundays, I started doing free networking for everyone in my group. So I had about 15 to 20 people every Sunday, and then I was getting some regulars. Some people would come once a month, and that was really nice. We built this this little family of that. We knew we could touch base, and that was really good, because property is scary. It can be lonely, and it's nice to just talk to real people about how it's going, rather than just watching the people on the internet who are like, yeah, it's amazing. Look, I just got these keys. It's like, but there's a whole journey before you get those keys. And that, I think, is way more important of learning about that than knowing that you've just got your first deal. Like, well done, but how did you get there? What do you help? How can you help others? So I was doing that, but I've cut back on that because now I just started my paid networking event, which has guest speakers. So it's different for other networking events, and it has speed networking, and that's what I'm trying to do now. But it's very hard because there are many networking events, and some of them are very well established, got much bigger budgets than I do.